In the year 1957, there was a Bollywood movie by the name of Pyasa that came out. Now, Pyasa was directed by Gurudutt, and it had one of the most memorable songs in Indian cinema that was sung by Hemant Kumar. Now, you must be wondering, this is a cricket show. Why is Rahul talking about Bollywood movies, that too from the 1950s? Well, there's a reason for it. Because this song is exactly significant to describe all the feelings of the Mumbai Indian fans when the Sunrisers Hyderabad were going great guns in that first innings. The song goes something like this. इसको ही जीना कहते हैं तो यूं ही जी लेंगे उफ ना करेंगे लब सी लेंगे आंसू पी लेंगे गम से अब घबराना कैसा गम 100 बार मिला हमने तो जब कलियां मांगी कांटों का हार मिला जाने वो कैसे लोग थे जिनके प्यार को प्यार मिला. The reason I'm singing this song is because Sarvesh, my co-host on this show, is an absolute die-hard Mumbai Indians fan, and I just wanted to rub it in a bit more to him. Sarvesh, it's not often that you score 246 in a T20 game while chasing, and you are on the losing side, not by 5 runs, not by 10 runs, not by 20 runs, not by 25 runs, but 31 runs short of the target. Your thoughts on Mumbai versus SRH?
I mean, I don't have words to express what just happened because quite often you see that first innings is something. If you score about 200, it is very difficult to chase that out in the second innings. And when you score 277 runs, the opponents, the team batting first, they know that they have it covered. And as a bowling team, you cannot really pinpoint at one thing that went wrong, because when you concede 277 runs in 20 overs, then most likely nothing has worked out for you. Almost everything has gone against you. So that's the kind of first innings that we have when Mumbai Indians bowl. And I mean, when you concede 277 runs, I don't know what goes on in those players' mind. I mean, what kind of thinking that they carry when they come to bat in the second innings. And I was afraid that this would be this would be a very daunting loss right in the second game, which would hurt the net run rate of Mumbai Indians. But that did not happen. I mean, I'm glad that did not happen. But more than that, the kind of fight this team showed. I mean, like you said, scoring 246 runs in the second innings, we don't see that often. We don't see this happen often, and that again, that team is ending up on the losing side. This is not normal. So we had an incredible cricket game where more than 500 runs were scored and only 7-8 wickets were lost. I mean, batters were coming in, they were taking just an odd delivery and they were just going for it. That's the kind of performances that we saw today. And I mean, none of the bowlers could actually contain. You look at everyone. I mean, apart from Pat Cummins and Jasprit Bumrah, I mean, everyone was going for runs. These guys scored, considered only 35, 36 runs, but apart from them, everyone was considering runs. When Bhuvaneshwar Kumar goes for runs in power play with the new ball, that's an indication that something is wrong. That the pitch is an absolute belter, and we are going to get a run pace. So that's my story. I mean, I don't want to overanalyze this, because like you said, this has been a very difficult game for Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, let's try and break this down for our viewers and listeners. I guess the first thing to talk about, you rightly mentioned, is the pitch. They say never judge a wicket until both sides have batted on it. At the halfway stage, when you see 277 for 3, the first thoughts are, geez, that was a bad bowling performance.
Exactly.
But when your batters come out and score 246, the opposition bowling has been pretty bad also. With the pitch and the ground dimensions and everything keeping in mind, still 38 8 sixes in the game. I mean, this scorecard is a statistician's delight because records have been smashed left, right, and center in this. And just whichever way you look at it, it is amazing. I mean, when do you see a scorecard with number two, three, four, and five scoring at 150 or above? And number two, three, and five scoring at over 250, almost 250 runs at a strike rate. I mean, it is just phenomenal numbers. I guess should we talk about Travis Head? Should we talk about Abhishek Sharma? Should we talk about Henrik Klassen? Or should we just talk about Mayank Agarwal, who scored 11 of 13 balls in this game? He must have been batting on a different pitch altogether. But yeah, you're right in saying that, when Jasprit Bumrah, your premier fast bowler, goes for 36
Yeah.
in his 4 over spell
And you
without
count
picking up
that
a
as a
single
as a good
wicket.
spell, and you count that as a good spell when he goes for 9 runs
Yeah,
an over.
and that's supposed to be the
Yeah.
best bowling figures in the game. Then yeah, you know what's happened in the rest of it.
Yeah.
Um, we spoke in our preview about Travis Head and his love with Indian pitches and Indian conditions. I think because Mumbai has an Indian attached to it, they are the Mumbai Indians. Travis Head sometimes forgets that it's a franchise tournament. He just thinks he's playing against India and comes up with that performance. Phenomenal start in the IPL for Travis Head, isn't it?
Yeah, he sees India, he sees blue, then he says, "Okay, that's it. I'm going for it." That's the kind of attitude
Yeah.
that he had. I mean, when SRH played him, they expected a good start from him, and he gave them exactly what they wanted from him. I mean, at the end of the day, they won't complain about that dropped catch. I think Tim David should have taken that catch, but at the end of the day, it also depends on the caliber of the batter to take advantage of such lives that they get, and he used it like he was batting as if he knew that, okay, this is my second chance. I've got one life, so everything, whatever I'm going to score now is going to be the bonus. That's the kind of attitude that he showed. He was looking to hit every ball out of the park. I mean, it was not just blind hitting. He was playing really good cracking shots, and also uh, there were some situations like Mafaka was bowling, just a 17-year-old poor boy. I mean, I feel for him that he went right into it. He was just there, and he's Travis Head was in that kind of a mood. In Marathi, I could maybe say him that's Tras Head instead of Travis Head, because that's the kind of because that was a pure torture for Mumbai Indians fans.
And head in Marathi is Doka, so Dokela
Yeah,
Tras.
yes, exactly.
Just a quick one on this guy called Abhishek Sharma. Who is Abhishek Sharma? Where is this Abhishek Sharma coming from? We've seen him for so many years, kind of showing sparks of brilliance, but not really, converting them, not being consistent. And for the second game in a row now, Abhishek Sharma looks the real deal and seems to have really made that next step in his white ball career. I mean, he had a phenomenal tournament,
Yeah,
domestic tournament,
yeah,
as you
yeah.
pointed out in our preview, but just brilliant striking from him as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we know his caliber, and SRH management, they backed him when he was signed after that mega auction. People were curious. I mean, there were two players specifically when Rajasthan Royals bought Riyan Parag and bought him back, and Sunrisers bought Abhishek Sharma back. So people were complaining, and people were like, "What are they doing? Why are they investing so much in these guys?" I mean, these two franchises, they knew what they were doing, and they knew that the word that he used, mutual funds, they knew that they were investing in that mutual fund, and that is going to give them returns at some point in future. That was one thing that was there and very clear in their mind. So now this mutual fund has started to give them good returns, and returns like 200%, 250%. That's the kind of, I mean, you just take that strike rate, and that's the kind of returns that he's giving them now. Abhishek Sharma, we know his caliber, and his gameplay against spin bowling. I mean, when you bat at number three, today he did not open. He was batting at number three. You are mainly going to face those middle overs, and you're going to face a lot of spin. And again, when the opposition they have one leg spinner and one left arm spinner, and you are good, you are a left-hander, and you are good against spin. That's the kind of matchup that you want as a batter in your favor. So he just got that, and he just smacked everyone everywhere. I mean, Travis Head scored 62 from 24, and we were like, wow, what is he doing? I mean, the game is gone. And then he comes and he bet us that he scored 63 from one less ball. So when two guys from your team combined, if you see, they have 47 balls, so almost 48, 48 balls, so 8 overs around, and they have scored how many? Around 126. So when 125. So when you concede that many, 125 runs in 8 overs, then it is just that two players, they are taking that game away from you. That's the kind of damage
Yeah.
Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head did.
Yeah. I mean, we all know about Henrik Klassen. He doesn't need an invitation on the worst of days. But on a day like today, this was the perfect setting. They had a great start, and all he had to come and do was see the ball, hit the ball. It was a brilliant wicket, as we've already said. The bowling wasn't the best either, and he took absolute full toll, which he does on a day-to-day basis. So no surprises there as far as Henrik Klassen, and ably supported by Aiden Markram. Now, 277, when a team puts up that kind of total, for a team trying to chase that, everything has to go to plan.
Yeah.
Like, no batter can come in and take their time or whatever. You got to go from ball one, you got to go big, and you got to just keep going right through those 20 overs at that same pace. Mumbai got a terrific start. They got the most ideal start from Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan. And a quick word on Ishan Kishan, because the boy's been through a lot in the last few months. I think a situation like this is sometimes good for someone like Ishan Kishan. He doesn't actually have to put any thought into it. All he has to come out and do is swing hard, see the ball, connect, and if he gets out, so be it. But it actually worked for him, and he's found the middle of his bat. Rohit Sharma, obviously, we all know what he's capable of, and again, just showing us some brilliances. But let's talk a bit about what's happened after that, because then came a time when Namandir and Tilak Verma took a bit of time to get going.
Yeah.
And in a 277 run chase, you cannot afford to have that time. I mean, you can say Tilak Verma actually made up for that later on.
Yeah.
But those dot balls that they had at that time, they never come back. A dot ball is a dot ball, and it never comes back. So your thoughts on that kind of initial part of the Mumbai run chase?
I think they started really well. 50 runs on the board from 3 overs is a very good start on, like, if you're chasing 200, 250, 300, any target that you're chasing. If you're scoring 50 runs from 3 overs, then it's a very good start. But after that, they lost Ishan Kishan, and then after some time they lost Rohit Sharma. So and I think credit should be given to Shahbaz Ahmed the way he bowled in those two power play overs, because it could have easily gone to 6 overs and 90 or 95 runs, but they basically contained the score, and it was just around 75, 76 after 6 overs. So that was one phase which I felt which went SRH's way, and they bowled pretty well. It was against smart captaincy from Pat Cummins. He was asking Ishan Kishan to hit on the longer side of the boundary, and he gave those two fielders for their mid on and on the leg side. So what happened was he was asking him to so he was asking Shahbaz to bowl outside off. He was asking Ishan Kishan to fetch that ball and play it on the leg side, and those fielders were ready. So that's the kind of strategy that worked for them. And after that, once Tilak Verma came in, I think for first 10 balls, I think he scored only around 5 or 6 runs. So, and after that, if you see, he has scored almost how many? 60 runs in about 25 balls. So now you match that with Abhishek Sharma's score and Travis Head's score. So he has done almost a similar thing. So like you rightly pointed out, that starting phase of Tilak Verma, I mean, you cannot blame anyone. I'm not blaming Tilak Verma because he played a fabulous innings. I felt 1 or 2 overs more from Tilak. I think uh, Mumbai were in it, and they could have probably gone more closer to that score. But at that start, I think that one phase where I think SRH bowled really well. Tilak was again, we know, in last game as well, he was carrying a bit of baggage from last game. I felt, because we know what happened last game, those refused singles and everything, the talks and everything, the pressure that it creates. I think that was also one thing which was in his hand. But he's a very talented boy, playing in front of his hometown crowd. Hyderabad is his city. He's playing in front of those fans. He represents them in Ranji Trophy. He's playing in front of them. He has a big target in front of him. The baggage from the last match. I think plenty of things must be going in his mind. But he was phenomenal after that initial start. I mean, we know the kind of spark that Tilak Verma has. And Namanthir again, I think, I don't know, I mean, he suddenly, I felt Nihal Vajera would come and play these games, but suddenly Namanthir has come out and I mean, he's giving those quick starts. That catch was actually wonderful. Otherwise, again, 1 or 2 overs from Namandir, and these guys could have actually made up for those that initial slow start. And not initial, but somewhere that around fifth, sixth, and seventh over, they slowed down a bit. So these guys could have actually made up for that. So I think no complaints from Tilak Verma, Namandir, Ishan Kishan, Rohit Sharma. I think these guys kept. I mean, when the asking rate is around 14 from ball number 1, and then you still play in that manner and keep your team in the hunt for like for 14 15 overs. If you look at the comparison, then Mumbai were, I think, only 10 runs behind after 15th or 15th over. So that tells you the kind of start these guys gave. So I think game was not lost there. I mean, these guys gave their all. I think that we'll maybe discuss about it more in the next phase.
Yeah, absolutely. Just coming to that last phase of that innings now. Look, Hardik Pandya has come out and said that he's going to play the finisher role for Mumbai. Role which is very different to the role that he played at the Gujarat Titans, for example, because there the finishers were David Miller and Rahul Tewatia. Hardik used to bat 3, 4, 5 for them, depending on the situation. Because Mumbai has got such a strong batting lineup, he's kind of said, "Look, I'll be that finishing, the guy who comes in and finishes." But a question for you in this is a 24 of 20 balls in a 277 run chase. Not quite the finishing kick they're looking for, which kind of raises this question now, wherein, and there's been talk about it for a long time, is Hardik Pandya now past being the finisher that he once was? Because look, don't get me wrong, I think he's still a great cricketer, but maybe just not the right positioning for him, because initially now you sense that he does need to take a bit of time to get going, and once he's set and seeing the ball well, that's when those big shots start coming out. Your thoughts on that?
I think when Hardik started, he was literally butchering those spinners. He was literally taking runs of them left, right, center. He was doing everything which was in anything. If you pitch in his arc, then he would absolutely go for it. Anywhere, up, down, a short pitch, fuller ball, wide, close to wide. We have seen we have seen him hitting those sixes. If you remember that Champions Trophy final match where I think it was Imad Wasim, he was bowling those wide Yorkers. He was still hitting them
Yes.
for sixes on the leg side. So that's
Yeah.
the kind of gameplay that Hardik has. But like you said, last few years he has been playing a different role for Gujarat Titans. He has been batting in top 4, sometimes at 5. But that is the kind of position that he had, because he had those finishers at the back end. David Miller, Rahul Tewatia, Abhinav Manohar. These guys are there these guys were there at Gujarat. Now the role is changed. His role is to, like he said, he wants to finish games for MI, and I think I am not exactly sure if that's the right role for him. But then where else he will play? Once Surya Kumar Yadav comes back, you will see that Namandir was in top form right now. Maybe he will have to make way for him, and maybe then Namandir can come in as an impact sum. And we are not even sure if he will come in, because there is Nihal Vajera sitting out, there is Vishnu Vinod who is sitting out, there is Deval Brevis who is also sitting out. So there are like 4 or 5 good batters already sitting out, and these guys are capable of batting in top 4, top 5. So that top 5 is already packed. So I think where is he going to play in? I mean, there is no place for Hardik inside that top 4, top 5, because there are batters who are set and they are in a much better position to play there. So I think he knows that that's the role which he's not going to get. There are players there, and so I think this role, maybe I don't know if it's his choice. He said that he wants to finish games, then it's good. But I think he will have to improve on a lot of things, because today we saw Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was bowling those quick Yorkers. He was not giving him any rooms, and he could not do anything. Similarly, Pat Cummins, he knew where to bowl against Hardik. In Hardik Pandya, he scored 2, I think 1-6 and 1-4 against Mayank Markande. Those 10 runs of 2 deliveries. But if you still look at his overall score, you will feel that it is just over on a ball. So I think there were a lot many dot balls, a lot many singles. I mean that phase when Tilak got out, and that was the phase which SRH won. And that's the reason why this margin is 31 runs. Otherwise, it could have been maybe 10 or 15 runs, or maybe they could have chased it down. We could have seen another Australia versus South Africa, that classic match. I mean, who knows? So that's the phase which SRH controlled, and credits to Pat Cummins and Bhuvaneshwar for that. But I think, like you pointed out, maybe there is some thinking that needs to be done. If he's right for that role, maybe he needs to come up a bit early, or maybe he just needs to bat down after Tim David. I mean, we'll have to figure out, because in my opinion, this team, they do not know their best starting 11. They do not know their best batting order. So there are a lot of questions that they need to answer, because, like we said, there are 2 losses, and when you lose two, we have been discussing about this. When you lose 2 back-to-back games, there is pressure on you. So they will have to find some answers. Maybe Hardik will have to think and do some introspection, and will have to change his position. I mean, I don't know. They'll have to do something about it.
Couple of points to kind of summarize is someone looking at that scorecard would want to know, it was a belter of a pitch. One team scored 277, you scored 246, you still had 5 wickets in hand. Why did you end up on the losing side? Would it be fair to say in this situation that the difference between the two sides was that Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Aidan Markram, and Henrik Klassen had the capacity and the ability to start going from ball one?
Yeah.
Whereas the Mumbai batters just took that little bit of extra time to get going, apart from Rohit and Ishan, of course. But people like Tilak Varma, Tim David, and Hardik Pandya, for that matter, took a little bit of time to get going. Would you say that would be a fair kind of analysis to say that is the difference between the two sides?
I think I won't blame this batting, to be honest, because when you're chasing 277, I don't think you can blame the batters. I mean, it's down to bowlers basically, because of the bowlers, you are in that situation where you have to hit from ball number 1. So I mean, again, even if when you look at the 2 scorecards, you cannot even blame the bowlers, because these two teams have conceded more than 500 runs in 40 overs, and 30. You said around 30, close to 38 sixes, I think, from those 40 overs.
Yes, 38
So
sixes.
that makes it 1 6 per over in that entire game. So how
Yeah.
often do we see this? I mean, you are basically conceding 1 6 every over. This is not normal. So I don't, like I said, I don't want to overanalyze there, but I think there could have been a few things which would have been worked out in a better manner. I mean, if they wanted Romario Shepherd, then they probably should have brought him earlier in the first innings instead of, in place of Shams Mulane maybe, where he could have actually bowled 1 or 2 overs. I mean, he came to bat in the second over as a pure batter. Maybe they could have done that change earlier. He could have bowled 1 or 2 overs. He could have we could have considered like 15 to 20 runs lesser. So that would have been very handy. And when the score could have been around 260, 255, 260, 265, that would have made a lot of difference, I think. So I think planning wise, you pointed out maybe Hardik Pandya's batting position, those changes. I won't blame Mafaka. I think he's a young guy, 17-year-old. He was, I think, I felt he was a bit unlucky. It was a bit harsh on him that he played his first game on such a belter of a wicket. So again, I feel for that guy. I mean, hopefully somebody will go and talk to him and he'll calm his nerves a bit. And I think smaller things which SRH got correctly, SRH got right, and Mumbai Indians got them wrong. But despite that, the game was of very fine margins. We don't see that often. When team scores 277, the game is never about those fine margins. But today it was just about that. So I think credit to both teams, the way they bowled, the way they batted. And I think end of the day, I think those spectators at Hyderabad, they've got a proper feast today.
Yeah, what's that? 521 runs, I think,
Yeah.
in 40 overs. You don't get that many sometimes in an ODI.
Exactly.
So it's been an absolute treat for them. Probably one thing to look at also, and I'm a big advocate of this. I think on a good pitch, when you win the toss, maybe just consider batting first, putting the runs on the board, because scoreboard pressure is still something that is a valid advantage that teams batting first have. If you've got a batting lineup as good as yours, bat first, back yourself to put on a massive score, and then use your bowlers to kind of put pressure, because sometimes oppositions, when they're chasing big totals, can crumble. And that is something that probably Mumbai need to. I mean, they've always traditionally been a good chasing side. So that's where probably that feeling comes from, that whatever they said, we'll chase it down. But yeah, sometimes maybe you've got to flip it around and kind of put the runs on the board yourself.
Absolutely.
Well, let's have a look at this. What's this done to the points table? Because we've had a few games now. So as we can see, Chennai right up there, 2 wins from 2 games. Who are the other teams? Hyderabad's played two, so they won one, lost one. This 31 run victory, though, quite significant for their net run rate. So you can see a positive 675 takes them to third place. Um, Punjab, on the other hand, have lost both their games, so they are somewhere
Oh, I
halfway
think
on the table.
Punjab, I think,
Oh,
have
they won
lost
one.
one.
Sorry,
Yeah.
won against their first game and lost against Bengaluru in their second. And
Basically,
the
there are only
only
three
teams
teams. Yeah, Delhi, Mumbai, and Lucknow. These are the only three teams who are winless now. Mumbai have played two
who
games.
are winless.
Yeah, exactly.
Delhi's go- Delhi's got that chance tonight against the Rajasthan Royals. So we'll see what happens in that game. Mumbai, yeah, 2 games, 2 losses. But as you rightly said, maybe the solution for them is to forget about this game as quickly as possible, regroup, and come back strong in their next one. They are traditionally slow starters in tournaments, so don't be surprised if at the end of the league stage you see them somewhere towards the top of that table. Um, before we wind up, anything else to add, Sarvesh?
I think you rightly said there that this game needs to be. I mean, they did all they could. They did what they had to do, and I think it's a game where you cannot overanalyze. You just go to your hotels and you just forget it. Nothing happened. Just come back fresh for the next game. Just forget that you considered 277 runs in the previous game. I mean, you cannot carry that baggage in the next game when you have a long tournament like IPL where you play 14 league games. So just go back to your hotels, relax, don't think, come back to the next game and then start fresh. I think the Mumbai Indians are not very unfamiliar with this kind of a situation. They know this. They have done it before. They are slow starters, like you rightly pointed out again. So I think they know what to do with this kind of situation, and they have right kind of leadership group, right kind of people around them who will be supporting this team in this phase.
Rightly said by Sarvesh. Good advice there for the Mumbai Indians. Do not take it to heart, and do not also take to heart the song that I sang right at the beginning of this. Just trying to give Sarvesh a bit of a hard time because I love rubbing it in. But that brings us to the end of another episode of the Snickcometer podcast. We love your comments. We love all the feedback that you all have been giving us. We will be back tomorrow morning with Rajasthan Royals taking on the Delhi Capitals in match number 9. Until then, keep following, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.